So, I want to start playing tabletop role playing games, and for whatever reason, I decided to go with Pathfinder 2nd Edition as the tabletop role playing game to play. Um, so, what is there to start off with? You're brand new, you want to start somewhere. Well, there's 5 things that you should consider picking up. Okay? We got the core rulebook, right, written by these gentlemen. You've got the beast. Let me move this down here. You got the bestiary, which is written by the same gentleman. Okay, nice artwork on all these. And then you have the game mastery guide written by half of those same gentlemen. So you have those 3 core rule books. But do you need those to start playing Pathfinder? I hope not, because just take a look at this for a second. It's a lot of reading. It's just 600 something pages. I think about 350 pages and maybe 200 something pages, right? Let me double check about that. You absolutely do not need to buy these 3 to start playing the game. Let me just look at the table of contents here, because I'm curious. Okay, 250. If it were up to me, if I were the one who was the editor, I would have figured out how to take about 100 pages of this book, put it in here. This would have left us with 530 pages, and then I would have tried to trim this down at least down to 400 pages, right? Otherwise, this thing is just way too big. You could have done, in my opinion, should have had a little bit more editing for this. So if you're just starting, I wouldn't get the core rulebook. Bestiary, if you are running the game, yes, get it. Otherwise, no. Same thing, game mastery guide. If you're running the game, it's worth getting. Otherwise, no. We'll look through those in a second. I'm not going to go through the mechanics. Other people have done that extensively online. This is what I would recommend getting. The Pathfinder Beginner Box. Authored by those same people, so they know what they're talking about. Actually, there's one there that wasn't on the others. Liz Liddell, and then we are missing... Let me see. We're missing... So Mr. Stephen Radney McFarland was not involved, at least as a primary author here. So this, however, I really, really like. So let's just go ahead and look through this. So you got the bases for creatures that you could put on. Multicolored dice, which is a huge thing because most times when you do get dice, it's all the same color. I'm very big about color coordination or having multiple colors. It just helps you, as long as you're not colorblind, it helps you recognize things that are, helps you recognize the dice, I guess, a little bit better. If you're learning, again, brand new, has a Sirenscape advertisement along with a free trial. It's always cool. Hope I'm not giving away a subscription here. Okay. Has read this first thing, which is always good to have. All right, so let's read it first. If you are on your own, okay, man, you're lonely, got no friends. You open the Hero's Handbook to page 2, and you play Pirate King's Thunder, which will teach you the basics of the game. So absolutely, if you're just learning how to play and you chose Pathfinder, go with the beginner box. Don't get these 3 things yet. Eventually, they'll probably be worth it. Get this first, because this is how much did I pay? It's like $20, maybe 25. It's worth spending a small amount and seeing if you like it. And also, what it comes with, right? You're eventually going to need dice. Those don't come with dice. This came with dice. So, get this. And then you can play, a game solo, which is pretty rare to be able to do that. And if you have a group, there's other things you can do. I like that. I like that very much. So, you get these cards, right? Conditions on one side, and on the other side, player reference cards. So you get a couple of these. Conditions for the record, there's a lot of them. So as a new player, it's nice to have all these basic rules written down. I like it. Then you have pre-made characters, which is the big thing with this book. The reason why it's so big is because it's giving you all these options for creating a character. Well, the work's already done for you, right? Another reason to just go ahead and get the beginner box. I really wish there was a little bit more room in the box, however, to get the stuff out. Because I'm sitting here with my fingers and I'm like, oh, I really don't want to bend anything. So took out the fighter. Let's just kind of open him up. Color coded, love it. All right, got a character sheet already all filled out. You don't have to do any work, literally. Find friends, say, hey, who do you want? What kind of person do you want to play? Do you want to play a fighter? Do you want to play a wizard? Well, it's already all made for you. We're just trying to learn how to play the game. We are not going to get, fall in love with these characters. And if you do fall in love with the characters, there's like a whole comic series based on them. So maybe you check those out, right? Give Paizo some more of your money. That's the only criticism I have about this is how hard it is to take these out due to the lack of, space in the box, which is nice in another way because they're making use. So they got a rogue, a cleric, a wizard, and a fighter. This is the classic 4 RPG person group. Then you have the hero's handbook. Remember what the read this first thing said. It said, hey, are you a lonely person? No friends? Read this first. Page 2. Page 2, Pirate King's Plunder. So go through, play that on your own, complete it. Looks like, let me look at the table of contents. So it has like a bunch of the rules for creating characters. So that's the thing. You don't need this to help create characters. You have the basics all here. Creating a character, at least up to a certain level, right? You're eventually going to need to get this to go further. So, again, it makes sense to just start with this. And the group that you create using this may not be the group that you stick with, right? Eventually, you might think, oh man, I really wish I did things differently as player, as a DM, or GM, I guess they're going with, yeah, GM. You might want to go ahead and restart, right? Just say, okay, let's start a new campaign, right? But okay, has a lot of the stuff. It's colorful. Has a lot of the basic spells. Looks pretty neat. Not gonna lie. I'm looking forward to reading through this stuff on my own. So there's that. But maybe eventually you play this, you learn the rules, and you're like, you know what? I want to make my own person. Boom, blank character sheets. You might want to save one to photocopy. FYI. Because if you just write on every... Oh, here we go. Permission to photocopy. Awesome. Thank you, Paizo. You were so nice. So, make a photocopy. Save one good clean one so that you... See, I'm the kind of person that wouldn't want to write in any of these, just in case. Make a character, right? So maybe you have a little bit more experience with tabletop games and you don't even want to use the pre-made characters, so have at it. Ooh, it even tells you, hey, those colorful dice, here's what they are, here's what you call them, in case you can't figure it out. And then the Game Master Guide. Let me take that out. Okay. So this has... Let me see, is this the... Okay, it's the rules. It has an adventure. Looks like I think it's the adventure for the actual group. And then, hey, you want to do more stuff? Well, here's more stuff. And then here's some stuff about the place. I know, very technical language here. I like it. I like it so far. And then it has the map, which is reversible. Has 2 sides. And then, hey, all those creature stands that you were at the very top of the box weren't there for nothing. No, there's literally creatures in there that you can pop out, put in them. Let me see if they're reversed. That's actually something I'm kind of curious about. Because if they're reversed, that's even more interesting. If not, it's okay. So, on one side, Orc Trooper. Front. On the back. Okay. Personally, I would rather see like the front side of a creature, and then on the back side of the creature, because this kind of shows a little bit more about direction that they're facing. That's my personal preference, right? You can see it with miniatures, but if you're using cardstock, it's better to have the reverse side have the reverse side of the creature. So, future reference, if you're going to do a reprint of this Paizo, that would be my recommendation. And then, hey, here's an advertisement for our thing. Okay. So, that's what I would get. If you're a first-time player trying to figure out what to do, I would just go ahead and pick this up. This is what I would do. Then, you played by yourself, you enjoyed it, you played with friends, then you're running the game for them. They enjoyed it, made their own characters. At that point, you're going to want to go ahead and expand to these core rulebooks. But before you do, there's one other thing I want to go ahead and show, which is the Pathfinder GM screen. Now, here's that. It's a sort of flatter one. And let me just set the video down for a second. Just kind of set it up. Okay. That's kind of how it looks, just kind of sitting on my desk here. And you can see I have to kind of look over to see what's over there. So you got enough, you're not seeing your stuff that's immediately here. Has a bunch of stuff about conditions. You can see the reference here in the core rulebook. And it references all this other information from that core rulebook. When you get the core, you get this when you get the core rulebook, right? Because that core rulebook is huge. It's a monolith, and at least when running the game, this will help you navigate it. You're like, okay, what is the rule for this thing? Oh, hey, it tells you literally. And then you can go reference that if you want to do that. Now, what I would do if I were you, I would, as you're prepping your ability to run a game, to just read up on, go to that page in advance. If this is the stuff that they think you're going to see most often, go to those pages in advance and just reference that material so that you're not flipping to the core rulebook as you game. Like, you don't want to be like, what is it, a rules lawyer, right? It's kind of a pejorative. So that's, I guess, the only problem is that there's a lot of rules and there's a lot of potential for rules lawyering in this game. But otherwise, I like the look and presentation of everything. So if let me sum everything up here. Let me close this up here. So if you're starting, buy this. Buy this. Don't buy anything else. Buy this. Then buy. Let me see which book first, because these are all pretty pricey on their own. So then buy the core rulebook. Then buy the bestiary. Then buy the game mastery guide. Then buy a DM screen. In fact, I would actually say buy this first, buy this second, buy this third, then buy this fourth, then buy this fifth. I'm not saying this is a worse product, because actually the worst product here, in my opinion, is the core rulebook, just because of how big it is. It's just that seems to be the least needed information in terms of running a game. The most needed is going to be here. So overall, should I rate this 1 out of 10? I would say in terms of everything, this is an arbitrary rating here. I would say a 9. And I'm only knocking off 1 point because of my dislike of the, I guess, poor editing, in my opinion, right? I'm not an expert. Could have been smaller. But otherwise, good quality products, sturdy box. Oh, let's just look at the additional, it advertises that bestiary right there in the box, right? It advertises, but I don't even have this, the Lost Omens World Guide. So if you're wanting to use their world, you're going to want to purchase the campaign setting, so you can better understand how to live in their world, and then the core rulebook. So even they're suggesting core rulebook, right? Core rulebook, bestiary. They're just doing a different one here. They're doing the Lost Omen World Guide. I did the Game Mastery Guide, so take that as you will. And there you go.